It is everyone's favorite time, and if you've been following this channel for a while, you know that we love to highlight regional indie MMA fights that happened this past week and show you our personal favorites. And it is all thanks to the legend Caposa, who, if you like these videos, you'll love his Twitter even more, so go give him a follow at Grabaka_Hitman. What is going on, everyone? It's the casual, Lawton Veerkant, and this is Caposa's Corner. Kicking us off this week, we are going to World Ertemash Global 110 event in Russia for one fight. Here, we have a bantamweight bout between Islambek Aliulu in the blue shorts, and he's taking on Islamjan Olimjanov in the black shorts and with the badass skulls on them. And both of these fighters are making their pro debut. We're just 30 seconds in, and did anyone order a left hand from hell? Well, thankfully they're in a cage and not a ring, otherwise Olimjanov might have been tossed right out and onto the floor. And we've sadly only got this one angle, but Ulu makes this impressive debut and lands this knockout in just 35 seconds of the fight, securing his first pro win. Now we're gonna go pay a visit to ACA 130, also in Russia, where we have two fights. For the first, we have another bantamweight matchup that sees Sanjar Ajibayev sitting at a 17-7 record, and his opponent, Murad Kalamov, has a 12-3 record. Now, we usually neglect our submission fans out there, which I promise isn't on purpose, but once this fight goes to the ground just over 1 minute in, these announcers know what's about to happen.
Can we get a twister finish from Kalamov? Oh my goodness! Murad Kalamov!
A twister from hell, and Kalamov gets the job done early in the first round. He just owns this entire fight, which gains him the win and improves his record to 13-3. For our second fight at ACA 130, it's time for Caposa's KO of the week. Here, we have a welterweight fight between Altinbek Mamashov, who has a 15-2-1 record, and he's up against Elias Silverio, who has a 17-7-1 record. Usually our KOs of the week happen early in the fight, but for this one, we actually make it almost to the 2-minute mark of round 2, and let me know if you noticed anything flying here.
Oh, goodness me. Now he's picking it up, huge shots. Mamashov with the finish! God. Wow! Wow!
You can kiss that mouthpiece goodbye. Dear Lord, Mamashov is raining down hooks, and after about 5 or 6, he lands this one that just puts his opponent out and on the floor. What an absolutely fantastic knockout as Mamashov secures the win, gets to look back on this great highlight, and improves his record to 16-2-1. Up next, we're going to Fame MMA 11 in Poland for one fight. This is a heavyweight fight that sees Krzysztof Ferentz, who is making his pro debut, and his opponent, Piotr Selega, who only has a 1-1 record. Now, this one is interesting because just 2 minutes into the final round, Piotr gets shook by this right hand, but he does recover, gives his opponent a little smile, and then he does this.
Dochodzi do siebie teraz Piotr Selega.
Holy hell, a right hook that just about spun his head all the way around, and this fight is over. What an amazing comeback, because as you saw, it was not looking good for Piotr, but he kept his ground and secured this great knockout, securing the win and improving his record to 2-1. Moving right along, we are going to visit Wolf Fight Promotion 3 in Sweden for one fight. For this fight, we have a featherweight matchup between Samuel Bark, who is only making his MMA pro debut, but has quite some experience in Muay Thai, and he's taking on Baysangur Makayev, who is also making his pro debut, and I couldn't find any prior experience for him. So this one happens quick, so I hope you're paying attention. Did anybody else get deja vu from the Crow Cop fall? Flying knee from Bark to the chin of Makayev, and he is down and out for the count. Just absolutely folded his opponent with the force from that knee, and Bark makes a very impressive debut to secure his first MMA win, and hopefully he can get some more just like this one in his future. Now we're off to visit our good friends at Cage Warriors in London, who actually had 3 events this past weekend back to back, and the first one we're going to look at is Cage Warriors 127 for 2 fights. For the first, we have a welterweight matchup that sees George McManus sitting at an even 2-2 record, and he's taking on Oban Elliott, who has a 3-1 record. Cage Warriors never disappoints us, and I think Dan Hardy's reaction sums this moment up perfectly.
Short range knee, there's the elbow. Nice left hook there. Shots are landing for Oban. Oh, he's down! What a knockout for Oban Elliott!
Just an onslaught of hooks and uppercuts from Elliott as he is going for the kill, but the final hook to uppercut combo is what seals the deal. Just a fantastic finish only halfway through the first round as he gains the win and improves his record to 4-1. For our second fight at Cage Warriors 127, we have a bantamweight title fight for the vacant belt that sees Nathan Fletcher with a very nice record of 6-0, and he's taking on Dominic Wooding, who has a 7-4 record, and clearly is not the fan favorite for this fight. And hey look, our good friend Patty Pimblett was in attendance for this event. But we actually make it to the third round, and with just 1 minute left, it takes a not so great turn for Fletcher once he dives into this knee, but he does survive and gets back to the feet, but yeah, not for very long.
Oh, what a head kick! What is going on here? Dominic Wooding is coming back! Wow! We have a new champion!
Just some brutal shots from Wooding that include the first flying knee into the hammer fists, another knee into a high kick, then a body knee, and the left hook to finally get the stoppage from another good friend, referee Mark Goddard. Just a fantastic performance as Wooding makes the upset, gains the win, and improves his record to 8-4, and is now your new Cage Warriors Bantamweight champion. So for our last fight at Cage Warriors, we're going to Cage Warriors 129, which happened on Saturday night, and this fight was also a title fight for the belt, but in the flyweight division. So here we have Sam Creasy sitting at a 14-3 record, and he's taking on current champ Luke Shanks, who has an 8-2 record. Another title fight making it to the third round, and I told you submission lovers earlier, we try our best not to forget about you.
Nice takedown attempt, guillotine attempt.
Oh my God, the elbow's high. Can we see a more one? This is tight. Another high elbow guillotine, and you can't block it. You can't block it because a
high elbow guillotine late in the third round from Creasy, and he forces the tap to claim this win. Just a beautiful read after Shanks goes for the takedown and fails and has no other choice but to tap. Fantastic win from Creasy as he improves his record to 15-3 and is your new Cage Warriors flyweight champion. Up next, we're going to Contenders 31, also in London, where we have an honorable mention as we only have cage side footage, but here we have a light heavyweight matchup that sees Simeon Powell in the black and green shorts and sitting at a 1-0 record, and he's up against Mladen Kujundzik in the black and white shorts and sitting at a 3-5-1 record. Now sit back and enjoy this beauty. Caposa titled this one Timber KO, and I don't think I have to explain why he titled it that way, but Powell secures this fantastic knockout and gains the win, improving his record to 2-0. For our last fight this week, we are going to Battlefield Fight League 68 in Canada for one fight. Here, we have a welterweight fight between Keenan Keller, who has a 2-1 record, and he's up against Bobby Poulter, who only has a 2-0 record. And to finish us strong, we are just over 1 minute into the first round, and our cages today have been getting a workout by catching fighters. A huge overhand right to knock out Keller, and unfortunately some unnecessary shots at the end while the ref is making his way over to stop the fight. But an absolutely great display of power from Poulter as he secures this first round knockout and win and improves his record to 3-0. Once again, a huge thank you to the legend Caposa, who never sleeps and finds all of these fights for us. If you want more content like this and to support him, go give him a follow on Twitter at Krabaka_Hitman, and you can also support him by heading over to his Patreon at patreon.com/Caposa. And a massive thank you to all of these amazing organizations for hosting these events so we can have purpose in life, and a thank you to the fighters, winners, and losers, and we will see you all on the next video. Peace!